of course, welcome to Dinosaurs Past and Present. Essentially, what has happened in the last couple of years of research, we have discovered that all the living birds on this planet are now considered to be the closest living ancestors to dinosaurs of the past. So we brought this show together. Little Range Reptile Zoo from Ottawa and the Canadian Raptor Conservancy, my facility, has put this show together called Dinosaurs Past and Present. Now, I'll be running a birds of prey show here today. Our facility, primary location, is actually down near Fort Dover, Ontario. It's about an hour and a half drive from St. Catharines. Our primary location, we have a birds of prey facility, we have a breeding facility there, we have a rehab facility. We also do a lot of movie and television work out of that facility with birds of prey, and of course we have an educational wing that travels across Canada teaching folks about birds of prey. So what we're going to do during this show, if you guys see a bird fly over the top of your head, don't be alarmed, it's one of our birds. We ask so if a bird does fly by, you don't try to reach out and touch it. And if a bird lands right beside you, even in your own chair, we just ask you to give a bird a big hug. Those are just the true rules we have when you have our birds out. Our company name, Canadian Raptor Conservancy. The Raptor part, don't expect a dinosaur to show up here today. If you want to see that show, you're a couple of years late. Unless you're talking about modern dinosaurs, also the term Raptor, don't expect the basketball team to come in here and do a show for you. We are going to talk all about birds of prey. That's where the term Raptors come from. Hawks, eagles, falcons, owls, vultures, of course eagles, all a member of that family. So I'm going to get a bird out here today. The first bird we're going to have out is the only bird we're going to have out that's non-native. It does not exist here in Canada. Unless this exact bird follows you home from this program, you are not going to see this bird in this great country. Although we have a few of these at our facility. Pretty cool birds, I'll have to tell you. Let's get this guy out. See if I can find him back here. Hi, buddy. There we go. This guy's name is Hudson.
Hi.
And what is Hudson? Hudson's a Harris hawk. And if you want to find Hudson in the wild, you'd literally have to go all the way down to the deserts of the southwestern United States in the beautiful country of Mexico. There we go. That's where this bird comes from. He is a desert hunter. Now, you would have to go down to Texas, Arizona, New Mexico, Southern California, and the country of Mexico to find this bird in the American desert. Now, interestingly enough, when you look at this species right here, a hawk, you're looking at the only hawk in the world, folks, that when they hunt together. Now, you guys have all probably seen hawks driving along the QEW right here in the St. Catharines area. Hawks are typically solitary. They typically hunt by themselves. This is that only hawk species in the world that hunts together. Matter of fact, many people call these guys the wolf of the bird of prey world. Most of us know wolves hunt in packs. Why do they hunt in packs?
That's twice.
They hunt in packs so they can capture a lot larger prey. Can a wolf capture a moose by him or herself? Probability is pretty low. But if you have 10 of them together in a pack, they now are a force. They can capture larger prey. Same as the Harris hawk. They utilize their individual talents together as a group, which allows them to capture very large prey. He was going to land right on Sean's head over there. All right, this gives me an opportunity to come all the way over here. He's going to come right down between you guys. There we go. All right. Now, in the desert where this guy comes from, since he is a pack hunter, they take a wide range of prey. You're looking at a bird that's fully capable of catching snakes. And by the way, they love catching rattlesnakes, which are dangerous to themselves, obviously. They love eating lizards. They love eating jackrabbits. And I bet you everybody here in the audience knows what this bird's favorite dinner is. You guys ever watch cartoons on Saturday morning?
Yep.
Do you guys remember a bird from cartoon fame that runs along the ground really fast?
Roadrunner.
You got it. This guy's favorite dinner in the desert is the roadrunner. And I know a lot of people find that surprising because a lot of us assume roadrunners are about the size of a coyote. Not quite true. Roadrunners are about the same size as this bird. But remember that roadrunners are strong and they can certainly defend themselves. And that's why this bird hunts together in a pack, together as a group. Let's see. Okay, do one last flight with this guy because we want to make sure we get all the birds in here. There we go. All right. Now, thank you, Craig, over there. The best fan in the building. All right, one last thing. Do you guys notice a long tail on this bird? A tail does three things for a bird. A tail is a rudder. It steers them through the air. A tail is a brake. They fan out that tail, they can stop. And number three, a tail balances the bird. This bird has a really long tail, gives him neutral balance. He can turn sharply with a long tail, and he can stop really fast with that long tail. That gives him three advantages over his prey, and that's why this bird can capture a roadrunner or a jackrabbit. They're very agile. They can stop and start, turn, and accelerate really fast. Thanks, buddy. We're going to put this lovely bird away, named Hudson, and then we're going to move on to a really cool bird Now, somebody here said they wanted to see an owl. Anybody here want to see an owl?
Yeah!
I don't know, I'll have to go ask her. She might be sleeping right now. No, we're going to get an owl for you. All right, so this lovely bird is the largest nesting owl in Ontario. Now, some people tell me, isn't the snowy owl the largest owl that nests in Ontario? No, snowy owls are larger. Snowy owls do not nest in Ontario, though. They visit this area in the winter months, but snowy owls nest in the Arctic, and they come down here only in the winter months. If you want to see a snowy owl in St. Catharines right now, do you guys know where the new hospital is being built? Good place to see a snowy owl. There's probably a crowd of 50 people right now watching snowy owls that are right there right now. Got almost guaranteed. You drive there right now and there's probably a crowd of people. You look in front of that crowd of people, there'll be a snowy owl somewhere in that vicinity. But we're not going to bring on a snowy owl. This is another bird of prey, another owl. This is our largest nesting owl. They also nest right here in this area, or they do nest here in this area. Her name is Toba. She is 14 years old and just about 2 weeks from now. Does anybody know what kind of owl this is? Excellent answer. This is a great horned owl. Great horned owls are named for those ear tufts that stand on top of their head. Now, some people call them horns, some people call them ear tufts. I tend to call them ear tufts. Now, it's almost like saying tomato, tomato. It doesn't really matter. They're exactly the same thing. But they do nothing but display. They're not her ears. Her ears are found beside her eyes. Pretty much where our ears are found. This is a bird that has great eyesight. She has great hearing. She has very strong feet. This bird is a magnificent predator in the forests of Ontario. And I'm going to see if she'll fly right over here for you guys. You can see she's watching me. There we go. All right. Now, you guys see the size of the feet on this bird? They're as strong as they look. This is one of the strongest birds in the world for her body size. I'm telling you, this bird is very strong. And birds of prey, by the way, definition of a bird of prey is a meat-eating bird that captures its prey with its feet. So a blue jay, a robber that pulls a worm out of the ground, a loon that captures a fish, they do it with their beaks. Birds of prey use their feet, and that's the defining difference. Okay, let me see here. What does this bird eat? Well, first of all, this bird eats just about anything that she deems as dinner in the wilds of Ontario and beyond. She loves eating mice. Oh, there she goes. All right. Let's see. I don't know if she can accelerate up this side. Let's see if she can do this. There we go. All right. It's a little bit of a slippery floor to start from. When birds take off, they use their feet and they push themselves into the air, and then their wings take set. The problem is on a slippery floor, sometimes it's hard to get traction, so you can do that. So now, dinner, she loves eating mice. Probably thinking that's reasonable. She can easily capture a mouse. Look at the size of those feet. How about chipmunks and squirrels and rabbits and muskrats, snakes, lizards, ducks, geese, porcupines, groundhogs, snowshoe hare. She eats all these creatures that are found throughout the fabric of Ontario, but I haven't even mentioned her favorite dinner. So I'm going to give you 3 hints, see if you can come up with her favorite meal. You ready? Hint number 1. This bird's favorite meal in Ontario is an animal that is black and white in color. How about this? Sometimes humans, that's us, we smell this creature before we see it. How about this? This bird's favorite dinner has a very convenient landing strip running right down the center of his back and down his tail. What's this bird's favorite meal? You're absolutely right, buddy. This bird loves to catch and consume skunk. Not this exact one. I wouldn't let her bring a skunk into the house, so we don't have to worry about that. Anybody find that surprising? You're probably thinking, doesn't a skunk have a defense mechanism? How does she get around it? She doesn't. She flies right through it. Why? She doesn't have a sense of smell. So if she got sprayed by a skunk, what would happen to her? How about she wouldn't give a hoot? Is that a good answer? No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, that's a cheap owl joke. I want you guys to look at her carefully. Does she not have the most beautiful camouflage to live in Ontario? Put her in an oak tree. Put her in a pine tree. She's designed to blend right in. Why? It gives her more time and space. If her dinner does not see her sitting up there, her dinner will not react in time, and she has a much better chance of catching it. That's why she has that camouflage. And do you notice wherever I go in this room, she's looking at me. She knows she's waiting. Here she comes. She's going to spring into action for you guys. There we go. Lots of hair blowing around over here. And before I put her away, every single day of this bird's life, we put her on a scale. We can manage her health through her weight. Just like our kids. When we send our kids to the doctors, you guys get on a scale. You can monitor health through it with humans also. Want to know what she weighed this morning as of 8 o'clock? How about this, folks? She weighed 1,664 grams. This bird is barely 3 pounds. Seem a little light? She is. Birds are all fairly light so they can fly through the air. The heaviest flying bird in the world, believe it or not, lives right here in Ontario. You might be thinking, is it a condor? No. Is it an albatross? No, we have the heaviest flying bird in the world right here in Ontario. Anybody know what it is? And by the way, the heaviest recorded record has been 40 pounds, which is just under 20 kilos. That's a really big flying bird. An Andean condor with a 12-foot wingspan, or almost a 4-meter wingspan, only weighs about 26 pounds, 13 kilos. What's our heaviest flying bird? The bald eagle is a really cool big bird, but not our largest. Good try though. This bird is 4 times heavier than even a bald eagle. Does anybody know what the heaviest flying bird in the world that lives right here in Ontario? The turkey vulture. Oh, you're getting it right. Who said turkey? Are you calling me a turkey? I am a bit of a turkey, but you're right. Folks, the wild turkey is the heaviest flying bird in the world. Now, some of you you guys grew up watching WKRP the WKRP in Cincinnati, there you go, tongue twister, and you assumed your whole life turkeys couldn't fly. Wrong. Wild turkeys are great flyers. They have a habit of jogging, but they can actually fly through the air. They're very good flyers. Imagine this bird weighs 3 pounds. A wild turkey is 10 times the size of this owl right here. Let's get this lovely bird away. I'm going to get a really cool bird out. Many of you probably saw this driving here today. Put up your hand if you came here along the QEW. I did. Okay, put up your hand if you've been on the QEW before driving. Okay, there we go. Better. Okay. All right. So you guys are all from like St. Catharines, like local. Okay. Have you guys ever seen that hawk sitting in a tree? Standing on a lamppost? Standing on a fence post? Standing on a bale of hay? It's probably this guy. 95% of the hawks along the sides of our highways are of this species. So when you drive under an Ontario road sign and there's a hawk standing on it, you can remember this bird. Let's go get him. This guy's name is Sadie. Come on out here, buddy. And I am going to show you the back end of this bird first. There we go. Thank you, pal. Oh, he wants to go stand on his perch. He's all ready to jump the gun. You guys notice he has a beautiful brick red tail? This, of course, is a bird called a red-tailed hawk. Now, everybody has seen this bird. Might not exactly know what you're looking at, but this is a red-tailed hawk. It is male, and by the way, when he flies, he's going to fly right over the tops of your heads, and he might even drag his tail feathers right over the top of your head trying to get to me. He loves doing that. So let's see. Here he goes. Watch this, guys. There you go. Now, you have 2 choices in life when this bird flies over. One, you can stare him in the eye, he'll fly right over your head. Number 2, you can move your head out of the way very swiftly, and he'll avoid both of you, so you don't have to worry. All right. Now, this particular species is actually kind of a fascinating bird, because I like them I sort of classify them in their ecosystem exactly how we sort of fit into our ecosystem. As humans, we do everything well, but nothing great. And by making that statement, we're very well-rounded, and this is how we're very successful. We're not the largest mammal out there, but we're pretty good size. We got good strength. We don't have the best hearing in the mammal world, but our hearing is pretty adequate. Our eyesight's not the best, but it's pretty good. But being sort of good at everything and not great at any one thing makes you a very well-rounded individual. The red-tailed hawk's the same. This is no eagle. It doesn't have the great size. But of course, it has pretty good size. It doesn't have the great eyesight of some of the falcons and what have you, but its eyesight's pretty good. So, right around, there you go. All right, tucking in his wing as he goes around. Okay. So this bird sort of fits in an environment. And you know what? There are more red-tailed hawks in Ontario than there has ever been in the existence of this province. They are doing well because of that adaptability. We change the environment, this bird adapts with it. So it's pretty cool that we have these birds in Ontario. Now, put this guy down. Have you guys ever heard this before? You're sitting there watching a movie, Hollywood production, and you hear this. That's not a bald eagle, by the way. That's the sound of a red-tailed hawk. For some unknown reason, Hollywood has a habit of using that call for every other bird of prey. And I was saying a little bit earlier, I have heard that call. They had a pelican standing on a post in Louisiana, and a pelican made the call of a red-tailed hawk. Now, I don't know, not very imaginative Hollywood production, I'll tell you that much. But that, of course, is the sound of a red tail. Okay, I'm going to go right back here. I'm going to interrupt these guys right back here. Okay, here we go. Here he comes right over. All right. Thank you very much, Sadie. All right. Let's put this lovely bird away. And I can see this guy. I can just see the sparkle in his eyes. When he flies over people, he's actually looking at people, and I think he gets a chuckle out of people moving out of the way of him, so it's kind of cool. All right, let's put this lovely bird away. I'm going to just change my glove briefly. Thank you, buddy. I know you're... There you go. Thank you, pal. Okay, the last bird we're going to have out, I'm going to tell you, it was highly endangered in Ontario. About the year 1980, this bird stopped nesting in the southern part of our province. 2009, it was taken off our endangered species list, so this bird is actually doing well again. You have a real good chance right here in this area of spotting this bird. And I know there's individuals nesting near Jordan Harbor, I believe, Port Colborne there's a nest, Hamilton, the World Botanical Gardens right near Hamilton, there was a nest last year for the first time. There's 2 nests on the Grand River south of Caledonia. There's 7 nests in the Long Point Bay right around where I live, so they're actually doing well. And this is a great conservation story, this bird being back in Ontario. Not only is this bird the symbol of the United States, it's also a symbol of Harley-Davidson. And very important to our town, because every Friday the 13th, my hometown of Port Dover, we have every Harley-Davidson ever manufactured visits our small town for the afternoon. It seems that way anyway. I think last fall we had about 110,000 people visit in just about 8-hour period. So, and we're a town of 7,000, so that's quite an influx of people. And let's get this guy out. This guy's not going to fly around for the simple reason it's way too small of a space for this lovely bird to stretch his wings. But I'm going to hold him on my glove here so you can see him. This is Rocco. Rocco is a 7-year-old male. He's a bald eagle. He weighs 7.5 pounds, just over 3 kilos. He has a 2-meter wingspan, 6.5 feet from wingtip to wingtip, and he's a boy. Guess what? Females are a 1/3 larger and way stronger than their men. A girl could be 8.5 feet, could be close to 3 meters, and a girl could weigh 13 pounds or so. So they're substantially larger, which is just over 6 kilos or so for the larger individuals. Now, when I personally look at this guy, I always get a chuckle when I see a bald eagle. I look at this guy and go, he looks a bit like a cartoon character. Like, almost like a caricature. Everything on this bird is exaggerated. See how big his beak is? That's for tearing and holding on to fish. He needs that exercise build to be able to do that. He even has treads on his feet. Look like the bottom of our shoes. This gives him traction so we can hold on to fish and slippery things. So this guy's well designed to be part of our aquatic ecosystem. Why did he disappear in Ontario? Water quality, industrial pollution, pesticides, leads, mercury flowing into our waterway. They contaminated fish. This bird eats the fish. Every fish he ate, of course, interrupted his systems. And by the time they were 3, 4, 5 years old, they ate enough fish that they were literally flying waste dumps. And that's what happened to this species. It was from basically the sins of our industrial pollution really affected this bird. Waterways today are a little bit cleaner in Ontario, in the lower Great Lakes, and that's why bald eagles are showing up again. And I think that's a real conservation success story, and I think it's a great news story for us to see that we can actually really affect the environment both ways. It should teach us lessons on both sides of the coin, for that matter. Now, birds of prey, just like the bald eagle, they can tell us an awful lot about the environment. If these guys are doing well, folks, it almost always tells us our environment is doing well. When they disappear from the environment, it almost always tells us our environment is not doing so well. These guys are great indicators of success and failures of the natural world around us. And I'm hoping during this quick show that we've all learned a few things about birds of prey. You'll take some of this knowledge home and you want to protect and conserve these magnificent birds in the wild. And when you're out driving around, you're out canoeing along the lake, I want you this summer, this spring, to have a look for bald eagles. You have a great chance of seeing one right here in this area. And if it was 15 years ago, you didn't have a great chance of seeing it. So that's excellent. Things are changing in our environment quite a bit. Thanks for coming to the show. Dinosaurs past and present. You guys have been a great audience. Thanks for coming for the day. I'm going to be up here with Rocco. You're welcome to come on up and see him after the show. One little rule, we ask you to stay back about a meter or so just so he can stretch his wings and he doesn't feel all surrounded. That's more for me than him, actually. No.